Hi, Original Soul. Welcome in to this reading. Thank you for showing up and sharing your energy. I hope you're doing really well. So the energy that's out feels pretty good. This reading seems like it's going to be a lot to do with either your creativity or your expression, allowing yourself to kind of put yourself out there, push past fears, and letting yourself have some pleasure and some joy. All right, so we'll add some tarot to the oracle cards that I already have out. We'll talk through each of those here. So let's see what wants to come out. We'll get into it right away. Also, the number 28 may be significant to you, whether this is your birthday or something important that happens on that date, or maybe even 2028 ends up being a really important or pivotal year for you, right? That would remain to be seen. But number 28 came out strong as well. All right, so this first oracle card that's out, allow yourself to shine. I'll show it to you in just a minute. But let's see what tarot wants to add to that message. All right, so here's the allow yourself to shine card, number 28 on this card. You could be a dancer into ballet or any kind of dance or music. Also possibly into architecture or some sort of, work that has to do with buildings or building things. And on the dance line as well, maybe you're on the dance line, there could even be some sort of like sensual dancing, whether that's burlesque or stripping or, something like that. So there could be something a little more sexy involved with it too. All right, but with allow yourself to shine, 3 of Cups came out. All right, so obviously shining your light, shining your talents, expressing yourself, putting yourself out there, not being afraid possibly too with maybe what your friends might think, or not worrying about outshining other people. And so kind of pushing past those sort of fears and just being your authentic self, letting your talents speak for themselves. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to come out with this card or this message. This could even be something that you share with your friends that maybe you've kept hidden. But again, definitely just moving beyond any sort of fears of what other people in your circle or beyond your circle may think of whatever this might be for you. Yeah, 4 of Swords, putting that fear to rest, trusting whatever comes from within, not blocking yourself from your intuition, just picking up on how the armor and those swords are pointing down, but there's almost like this restriction or not accepting those sort of nudges or information. So definitely allowing yourself to be still, see what wants to come through, and again, not pushing away your true passions or, again, whatever kind of that authentic or unique or just exciting thing is for you. All right, we'll move on to the next card here. Also a number 28 out of the Egyptian deck, Creation and Artistry. So this is Ked the Potter. You can also see he's working on a little mini sphinx there. So again, if you're into not only just music or dance, like I mentioned, maybe architecture or building things, you could even be a sculptor or a potter or do pottery, or maybe some of these would just be good activities to explore, especially if you don't have any sort of hobbies or passions. Right, it might be good to try a couple new things and see kind of what feels good to you, what stands out to you. All right, with Page of Swords here coming out with the Potter. Pages can be about messages. So like I was just saying too with this 4 of Swords, like not pushing away information or messages or insights that come to you. This could be in the form of communication from another person. Maybe you're hearing about some sort of creative endeavor or project. Or again, I'm just picking up again on, there could be a little apprehension or a little bit of fear of what others might say or think about what you're doing. So being a little bit more like a page where, you just kind of go for it. You don't have to worry and think about every little thing, taking out that need for perfectionism as well. Yeah, with the Empress and King of Cups here, so this is getting more in touch with your abundance, your creativity. The Empress is very creative, right? And as I was mentioning, picking up on that armor and feeling really shielded, the Empress is holding a shield, but it's off to the side. So knowing that you are protected and you can protect yourself, but not having that so it's blocking everything from coming towards you, especially abundance, because the Empress is all about abundance. So you may have a hobby or a passion or something that you work on that ends up actually turning more into a career or more or let's say a larger part of your life. With the King of Cups, this is something that really fills you up, makes you feel good, is heartfelt. It's just something that really kind of overflows your heart space. All right, so that's really beautiful, really positive. Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So again, just allowing, even here, right, that energy to flow. Yeah, just moving more in your flow. All right, and then out of the Sacred Cycles deck, I have number 43. So maybe you're 43 years old, or 43 is an important number for you. Could be tapping more into your spirituality or just universal energy, but out of the Sacred Cycles deck, we've got orgasm. All right, so like I mentioned, maybe there's a little more sensuality coming in, but this card is all about allowing yourself to have pleasure. Also on a couple cards here, we've got pink flowers. So pink flowers or even a pink lotus, you may see those as a sign. Little mushrooms, hummingbird is also coming through. But let's see what wants to come out with pleasure. All right, this could be pleasure in your activities. That feels like too many. Again, maybe there's been a restriction and a blocking and not allowing yourself to do things that feel good to you, again, for fear of you fill in the blank. All right. All right, let's see what we've got here. Queen of Wands, who is really creative as well. So really tapping into passion and fire, your will, your drive. And again, she looks a little bit serious. So like I said, not making everything so serious. What lights you up and brings you joy and makes you feel really light and bright, right? We've got the sunflower and a lot of yellow and illumination on this card. So that's all about shining, right? Not being afraid to kind of be a leader or stand out. Yeah, we've also got Seven of Cups and Page of Rods. So with the Seven of Cups, there could be a lot of choice. I'm really picking up on the mask right now. So maybe you're into theater or acting or something where, right, you have to put yourself out there, get out on stage, or even audition for something, which, again, you've got to push past your fears, maybe use that energy that kind of builds, and then you can express it in a creative way. Right? Orgasm is all about energy that sort of builds and then eventually is released. So that is coming through strong as well. But this is about choosing a direction. And because these are cups, it is about your emotions and what feels good. All right. So really following something, not that just feels good in the moment, right? But that's more of a long lasting. And that's also a 7. So again, this could be allowing some of that guidance to come through, as I know I mentioned maybe once or twice, not blocking that, and really following, right, your desires, and also kind of taking off your mask as well, right? If you're not an actor or doing something like that, This could be, again, allowing your true self to come out, not pretending to be a certain way anymore. For some of you, maybe you're even coming out, to your family or your friends. Could even be with your sexuality, as an example. Or again, maybe it's just some sort of project or talent or hobby that you've had that for whatever reason you've maybe even felt ashamed of or embarrassed about, or that you might think is like a little bit weird. But weird is good. All right, and then with Page of Rods, so we've got another page out here. And the page is looking at this wand. And the Queen is holding, right, that wand with authority. So that is choosing maybe even a new direction, a new passion. And again, just going for it, right? Not being afraid, using some of that more youthful energy to propel you forward, to allow you to pursue something exciting. All right, so being more expansive, not letting yourself limit yourself, right? A lot of that comes from our own mental chatter and our own mental thoughts. Yeah, so heartfelt and wands, those are really sticking out. The cups and the wands are really prominent in this reading. And then out of the crystal deck, last oracle card here. We'll add some tarot to this one, and then we'll get the spirit animal and an angel tarot before we close it out. But quartz, all right? So there's quartz, a piece of quartz sitting right here on top of it as well. Maybe you have some quartz. Quartz is an amplifier, all right? So maybe energy is amping and ramping up. Like I said, talking about that energy sort of building until it's almost ready to kind of burst, release, or explode. All right, but with quartz, enhance your vision. I'll just read a little blurb here from this card. When you find yourself believing the limitations your mind puts in front of you, call on quartz to help you see through the illusions, clear the mind of self-doubt, surrender to the will of the universe, and start manifesting the impossible. So I love that message. And yeah, right? Not buying into those limitations or restrictions. Right? Have you tied yourself up in that rope? I don't know, for some of you, maybe you're into some sort of bondage or knot tying or something like that. Yeah, with the Four of Pentacles here, there could be a little bit of fear or kind of holding on to things. This could have to do with your money. Right? Maybe you're set in a certain position and you're kind of afraid that this new venture or this new thing either will take a lot of money, or maybe it's not going to pay as much money. But this is sort of holding on sort of energy. And so not limiting yourself, right? Pushing past that. Also knowing that your passions and desires will lead you to something that is stable for you, right? When your heart space is fulfilled, that's when you have emotional stability. When you're following your passions and enjoying what you do, you also have mental stability from that as well. So kind of trusting a little bit more in the universe. And again, taking away those limitations, not keeping yourself stuck. Okay. Awesome energy so far. Let's add a spirit animal and see what animal friend wants to join in on this reading and this energy. Give it one more shuffle. Okay. Spirit animal friend. Let's see who's going to join for the week. I know I already mentioned you may see hummingbirds. Where I live, we have a little bit of snow peeking out today, so definitely not going to see a hummingbird flying around outside, but you can see anything on the internet. All right. Oh, we got two. All right, Scorpion, new beginnings. So I have mentioned new venture, new passion, new activity, new direction, all that sort of thing. So that makes a lot of sense with Scorpion coming out. You are invited to instigate change. And I would say Page of Rods could be an instigator for sure. But you are also being warned that this transformation may be radical. Get rid of everything in your current life that can prevent you from improving. Based on this principle, destroy before rebuilding. You are promised a beneficial rebirth. That feels a lot like the Death card, which is associated with Scorpio, so not a surprise there. All right, so definitely getting rid of your fears, kind of pushing that away, because that is a destroyer. So it's time to destroy your fears so you can kind of build your life in the way that you want. All right, and then Coyote, playfulness. Also not surprised this card came out. Page of Rods also can be a playful energy. So let's see here. This is a reminder to not take things too seriously, which I know I literally just said when I was talking about how serious this Queen of Wands looks, right? And bring more balance between wisdom and playfulness. You might need to lighten up about a matter that has been on your mind for a while. So yeah, like I said, something does feel like it's been building and it's time to release it, whatever that is. Maybe it's information that you've been holding on to, feelings that you've been holding on to, some sort of excitement that you've been holding on to. All right, so Scorpion and Coyote also joining with Hummingbird. All right, let's add an angel tarot to it. See what angel would like to also assist with this energy, which honestly feels really awesome. I'm also feeling like a little bit hyper, really excited, upbeat, which is great. All right. Oh, we got 2. Barely had to move the cards. We got 3 actually. Let's see here. All right, 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 4 of Wands. Let's see, Ayahel, number 62. I may need to get bifocals at some point. God, the highest being, desire to know, the acquisition of wisdom. All right, so wisdom from experience, I'm really feeling. Right, that's at least how I learn best. I don't know about you. Right, sometimes it's trial and error. But again, not holding yourself back, not being conflicted in your own self. So definitely releasing that. With 7 of Swords, we've got Manikel, number 66. God nurturing and maintaining everything. Knowledge of good and evil appeases divine anger, cures epilepsy. Oh, that's a super interesting card. So knowledge of good and evil, knowing what's good for you and what is not. And again, maybe that's come from experience and come from some lessons that you've had to learn. And moving in a direction that feels better and feels lighter and more exciting. You know, I've said that a couple times. And then 4 of Wands, Mahasaya, number 5, God the Savior. Rectification helps one live in peace with everyone. All right, so if you've had any conflict going on, any sort of conflict, or maybe there's been, some sort of just, not good feelings. Is that a technical term? Not good feelings? I don't know, any kind of lying, or maybe you feel like you've had to be lying and kind of sneaking around, or like I said, something has been kind of kept under wraps and it's ready to come out. So just bringing that out, finding more peace, more rest, especially mentally. Okay, let's see here. Last card before we close out this reading from Archangel Michael. Prayer will help with the situation. All right, so what are you going through, or what are you wanting to share but feeling nervous or afraid to do so? My prayer. Dear God and Archangel Michael, I ask for your divine intervention for this situation. So only you know what this specific situation is. I welcome your help and I trust and follow your guidance with gratitude and grace. I need a miracle and ask that you send one to me and this situation quickly. Thank you and amen. All right. So Archangel Michael, definitely here to help, here to give you courage. Because again, this feels like something ultimately that's really positive for you. But there is just sort of this underlying, there's been some fear, there's been some restriction, and it's time to release that. Let yourself shine, right? Showcase your creativity or your authenticity or your truth, and allow yourself the pleasure that you deserve. Okay, so that's what we've got for the reading. Not limiting yourself. So if you do like to find affirmations, maybe that's a good one for the week. I am limitless, right? You are limitless. We are limitless. All right, so what can we do to stop believing in these limitations that we're imposing on ourselves, or that maybe you found through the course of your life? Allowing yourself a new beginning, allowing yourself to let it be a little more playful, a little more pleasurable, and knowing that your joys and your passions aren't going to limit you, right? They're not going to take you down the wrong road. All right, so starting to believe in yourself, believe in your inspiration, believe in the divine. All right, we are limitless. That's what we've got for this reading. Thank you so much for being here. Feel free to leave me a like, comment, or even a share. And until next time, peace.